Om Sahana Vavatu Sahaviriyam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May God protect both teacher and student. May He nourish us together. May we work together with great energy. May our studies be enlightening. May there be no hate among us. Om, peace, peace, peace. Good morning. Aditi, do you want to check if Kapilji is available today?
Yes, Acharya ji, I'm asking.
The reason why I asked is because it was his request and suggestion to speak on the nadis.
Yes.
What we briefly spoke about or mentioned in the last session during our pranayam. How many of you know or heard about nadis? And so those who know about nadis or heard about it can always share whatever that you know. So
I haven't as such heard about Nadi. Only thing that I know is probably a nervous system is related to. But
you see, the fundamental difference is because I was little not prepared to speak on this subject now, because in order to get more clarity on subject like what is nadi and how many nadis and functions, one must know the formation of our body. We have more than one body. So the nadis are primarily in our subtle body and not in our gross body. The nadis are nothing but tubes or channels that circulate the flow of energy, our prana energy. And this happens in our subtle body more than a gross body. So we do have veins and nerve systems and veins in our gross body. Yeah, the pulse that we feel is in our gross body, but the nadis basically are in our subtle body, and this is some subject that one must know. What is subtle body to start with? Do we have a subtle body, and if do, where is it? So that's why before speaking about nadis, one must know that we have the gross body that we feel, that we know, physical body. The second body is subtle body, and subtle body is composed of our breathing, our mind, and our intellect. So that forms a subtle body. When we say the breathing, the prana, that circulates throughout our body, and it circulates through these nadis. And there is another body which is known as Vijnanamaya body or causal body. So it's three different bodies: gross body, subtle body, and causal body. In other words, it is known as covers. And when we speak about covers, what does it cover? It covers our consciousness, The covers are 5. And these are in Sanskrit known as Annamaya Kosha, which is our gross body. Then the pranamaya kosha. So pranamaya is our breathing. Then comes manomaya kosha, which is our mind and our faculty of thinking. Then Vijnanamaya kosha, which is our intellect. And finally, it is Anandmaya kosha, which is our causal body. So nadis are in our subtle body. Now, according to some says the literature, it is mentioned in about 3,000 to 4,000 years old literatures. Tantra is one which is practiced to work upon nadis. It is said that the lowest number of nadis in human body could be about 72,000. And the highest number are estimated to about 350,000 to 500,000 nadis in our body. But among these nadis, there are 14 are very important nadis. And when I say important, because it carries a very significant distribution of energy. And among these 14, the sages have recognized 3 nadis, which are extremely important for the point of view of yogic sadhana. And these are the Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. So Ida is Ida and Pingala are the channels or nadis, which is base is in your Muladhara. It starts from your Muladhara chakra, and it goes alongside your spinal cord, and it has the prana energy that flows through them, energizing and sustaining all part of our body. So these are the function of these 2 nadi, Ida and Pingala. Now it starts from your base chakra, from Muladhara, and it goes along the spinal cord at the back, and here it crisscross and comes to ends. Those 2 nadis ends on your 2 different nostrils. So Pingala, for instance, is our right nostrils. So the right side of your spinal cord is Pingala. The left side of your spinal cord is Ida. So the Pingala ends on your right nostril, Ida stops at your left nostrils. Now, Pingala is known as a Surya Nadi or solar plexus. So Surya Nadi, basically it is crossing. So from the base chakra, it goes straight up from your channel, and then it comes to your nostrils, ends at nostrils. And by functioning different pranayama, with practice of different pranayama, you try to activate the center nadi, the middle nadi, which is known as the Sushumna. Now, Sushumna goes up from the base along with your spinal cord. So here is Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, and that all 3 moves, energy flows, moves upward. But Sushumna is usually dormant. It's not active. It's only Ida and Pingala, which is our 2 nostrils. Through the practice of pranayama, and this is the reason, if you recollect, before pranayama, I tend to ask you to check your breath. To check your breath is to identify whether you are breathing in and out from one nostril or both. Now, it has a significance because if your left nostril is more active than right, or right nostril is more active than left, it has its own significance. It has its own, let's say, importance, because both, when it flows in balance from both sides, which is what purpose of doing pranayama, is to check that eventually you should be breathing in and out from both nostrils in balance. When that happens consistently, and then it is activating, it works on your Sushumna. So Sushumna works only when you are in balance. When I say you are in balance, I mean not only mentally and physically, but your breathing. when it is breathing, and that's the time to start your meditation. So this is almost like a prerequisite of going into meditation, is to find your breathing in balance. And breathing in balance is the indication that your Sushumna Nadi is now functioning, which means your energy is flowing from the base chakra to upward through the Sushumna. Now, why there is so much of significance on that is because Ida and Pingala goes up along the spinal cord, and the junction where it meets up the Sushumna Nadi, because it goes into crisscross. So it goes, if you happen to see a picture of your subtle body, you would notice that these Ida and Pingala starts from the base. At some point it crosses and then turns again and then crosses again, and it goes in such a manner that the point or junction when these two nadis meets at the point of Sushumna Nadi, that's the point is known as chakra. So when we say that we have 7 chakras, now 7 chakras are only, I would say, popular. There are many more chakras, but the 7 chakras are popular, starting from your Muladhara to Swadhisthana, Manipura, onwards, Anahata, Vishuddhi, and Sahasrara. So when these channels are meeting at that point, that chakra gets the energy. So it is chakra is nothing but an energy circle, and this is when your prana starts flowing, and it meets up there, both Ida and Pingala, and then it activates the chakra, and it pushes upward. The energy moves upward through the Sushumna. So it is kind of a complex, let's say, mechanism, but it is so interesting because the pranayama and the tantra vidhi. Tantra is another, let's say, sadhana. Just like yoga sadhana, there is a tantra. In tantra sadhana, this is very important to work upon nadis, to activate nadis. So we were talking about Pingala, which is Surya Nadi. It is your right nostril. Ida is a Chandra Nadi, which is the moon, and it is from your left nostril. And Sushumna is a balance of prana, flow from both nostrils freely, without any obstacles. Now, all these 3, as I mentioned, originates at the base of your spine and travel upward. What does travel? The prana travels upward, the energy travels upward. Sushumna is located in the center, while Ida is on your left side of spinal cord and Pingala is on your right side of the spinal cord. They crisscross each other and end. So while crisscrossing, it moves upward and it ends on your nostrils. The junction where Ida and Pingala and Sushumna meet are known as chakra. Now, each chakra has different color. It has got its own Bij mantra, is known as the principal mantra. It has got number of petals. So chakra is like a lot. It's got number of petals. So base has a 4, next one is 8, another one is 12, and likewise it increases the number of petals. When you talk about Sahasrara chakra, there it seems to have thousands of petals. And now, this is so deep subject, we will have to talk separately on chakra because it's not easy to understand in one little talk. But basically, these 3 nadis are activating chakras. So as we know, we have in our gross body 7 chakras. Now, when I say gross body, if you go and study, only Muladhara chakra is in our gross body. Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Visuddhi, and Anjna. All these chakras belong to our subtle body. And Sahasrara chakra belongs to our causal body, which once again is very complex it requires a lot of study. We will have to deal with it a bit later. Coming back to our nadis, by activating Sushumna Nadi, prana or the energy flows upward from Muladhara and awakes the sleeping serpent, the quote unquote sleeping serpent, which is known as Kundalini. So when it is crisscross, meets at the point of Sushumna, there is a chakra. A chakra is, as I mentioned, is an energy circle, which is dormant. But when it energy and the prana flows upward through that channel, it slowly activates that sleeping serpent, that Kundalini. Kundalini gets awakened. And the yogic pranayam and tantric or satkarma, all these different method of sadhanas, the only objective is to activate the Kundalini. So coming back to Surya Nadi, as I said, it is the right nostril. It ends here, but from this point upward, it again crosses. So the right nostrils works on your left side of hemisphere, left side of your hemisphere of your brain, which is masculine by nature. It contains energy. It represents energy, light, heat, activities. That's your left side of your brain. So it is, in a few words, the characteristic of your left hemisphere is masculine, represents energy, light, heat, activity, and extrovert, etc. You understand this so importance now. You understand the significance of pranayama and the manner in which it should be done, so that you work on your right side of your body while working on Surya Nadi or right nostrils, but it has effect on your left hemisphere. And when you, so it also, you can check the personality of individual. If the person is hypertension, person is all the time active, or a tendency is of energy, full of energy, restlessness, extrovert, this personality indicates that the breathing flow of energy is from your Surya Nadi, right side nostril, because it activates your left hemisphere, which is this character. Similarly, the left side is Chandra Nadi, which is your Ida. So Chandra Nadi is the left nostril connect to the right hemisphere of the brain, which in nature is feminine, is cooling. It represents love, affection, empathy, and by nature introvert. So if you realize that you are by and large a person who like to be left alone, or like to be by yourself, or dwell upon your own self, and more functioning out of emotions and empathy, your left nostril is more active, which works on your right side of hemisphere, which has these qualities. And the balance is most important. So you need not only operate through Ida and have more of a loving and feminine characteristic, but a balance of right and left hemisphere is very important. And therefore, that happens only when your Sushumna Nadi is activated, which means the energy starts flowing through your Sushumna Nadi. It gives you a very balanced personality, and it also gives you the spiritual wisdom, so to say, because your Kundalini is awakened as you practice, as you do sadhana. And with that, your natural tendency is to gain more knowledge about self, knowledge about higher self, knowledge about the wisdom and spirituality. This becomes your natural tendency of your personality. And the emphasis is to maintain the balance of both the nadis, Surya and Chandra. And therefore, the prana starts flowing through Ida and Pingla and allows Sushumna to get activated. So when next time you do pranayama, realize it is not just cleansing of your nostrils. It has much more implications. It has very deep implications. And the practice of pranayama regularly for a longer period of time is only to activate these nadis. As I mentioned, these nadis are located in subtle body, whereas arteries and veins and nerves, etc., are in our physical body. So if the human body is opened up, you cannot find these nadis because this is not in our physical body. It's in subtle body. Subtle body is made of your pranas. And we speak about the pranas. There are several pranas, and out of several pranas, the 5 pranas are important. We spoke about different pranas. So sadhana of pranayama, tantra, and satkarma activates this chakra or kundalini. And when the vital energy flow upward in Sushumna Nadi, kundalini is awakened. Energy flow raised to the Sahasrara chakra, which is our crown chakra. Unbelievable siddhis are said to be attained. A person who has activated Sushumna Nadi and Kundalini, and if when energy starts flowing from the base upward, and when it comes up to your Sahasrara chakra, the yogis have different siddhis, which are almost like a miracle. There are living example of this. I don't want to name them, but those who can drop the body as they wish and regain it whenever they like through their siddhis. So these are extreme yogic siddhis because of activating your nadis. So these are your, in nutshell, about your nadis. As I mentioned, it is such a complex subject that you do need to study this. There are enough number of literature written about nadis, and there are arguments which are, there's argument between the sages or saints who worked upon nadis and found out this truth, and there are scientists which cannot accept this because they cannot find it. So it is this, as I mentioned, is only available in the yogic literature or the tantra literature or satkarma literature. If you happen to find any time, it is full time. It's full on study. So briefly, let's talk about 5 different pranas. When we do the breathing, apparently, when we inhale, as we know, different chemicals or gases, including most important being oxygen for human body. But it is not just that. What is known in our Indian philosophy is that it contains the vital energy known as prana. So when we inhale, there is one which is known as prana. The function of that is to activate your lungs. And generally, our shallow breathing activates only approximately 20-30% of cells in our lungs, and remaining 60-70% of cells remain dormant. They are not active. But by doing a certain pranayama practice, you activate more number of cells, and by activating more number of cells in your lungs start functioning better, and it improves their immunity. But along with prana, there are other functions. So when it comes to lungs, it's prana. But when it circulates to other part of body, which is the job of vayu, which is known as a vyana. So when up to lungs, it's prana, but when it starts circulating all part of, how does it circulate? that vayu, that air, is pushed through the channels, we just spoke about nadis, is known as a vyana prana. It's vyana vayu, which circulates the energy throughout the blood, through the blood. So with the flow of your blood, there is something called vyana energy. Then comes the samana prana or samana vayu, and that converts our food, our intake of food or liquid into the energy. So how do we gain the energy? By eating whatever diet that we consume, and with the breathing, combination of two. When I say eating, I also include the drinking of water, etc. So when you have the prana, it circulates throughout your body through vyana. And the second aspect of it is to convert food particle or water into energy. That job is done by vayu known as samana. Next is apana vayu. If you remember, we have different hand mudras. One of them was apana vayu. Apana vayu is it's the significant job of apana vayu is to get rid of the waste material from our body. So all after digestion, what body does not require, it needs to be taken away. And that happens through the help of apana vayu. It is significant because if that is not functioning well, people will have many kind of problems such as indigestion or gastric troubles or urination trouble or headache, many things that happens because the apana vayu is not activated or not functioning as well as it should. And the last one is udana vayu. Udana vayu tendency is moving upward. So you can imagine that the removal of the waste from the body is the tendency is moving downward. That's apana vayu, which pulls it down and throws out of your body. Even perspiration of your body, it is only because of your apana vayu. Similarly, udana vayu functioning happens and the tendency is moving upward. For instance, when we have a cold, for instance, and we do coughing or sneezing, that happens only because of our udana vayu. Or when something is not digested well and you throw up, when throw up happens because there must be a force that from your intestine, it pulls out of you and it moves upward and throws out of your mouth. That happens only because of your udana vayu. Burping, for instance, when for whatever reason, you eat a bit more or your stomach is full and you still keep eating, there is a signal that gives you, the system in our body has the indicator of burping, which indicates that enough, now you are full. But that burping happens only because of operation of your udana vayu. Now, imagine the most important, when a person, the consciousness leaves the body, that also has the cause of your udana vayu. It is udana vayu that takes that consciousness, that energy in your being, moves, it goes out of your mouth, out of your nostrils, or through your Sahasrara chakra. And that happens because of this vayu, of udana vayu. So pranayama, one needs to know, these five pranas are, let's say, more popular. Each of these five has its own, let's say, network. And so all put together, there are approximately 21 different pranas or vayus. Each of five have their own, let's say, subordinates. But that's a different subject to study. While talking about nadis, one must know different pranas, purpose of maintaining a breathing balance. Where are these three significant nadis? What are the functions? How does that activate our chakras and kundalini. So at this point of time, I prefer to end here, conclude here, because as I said, Nadi is something which requires almost like 3-month course, or at least 3 to 6 month course to study. If there is any more questions or doubt, please let me know, or else we shall start with our very sahaj natural meditation. Fair enough. Let's, so before we start our meditation, let me briefly tell you or prepare you. It is one of the simplest method of meditation that I have known. So throughout meditation, or most of the time, you only have to concentrate on what you hear. Just follow what you hear, because I will be guiding you, and rest, just relax, just be relaxed. There's nothing to do, and there are no examples, no dharanas, no affirmation, nothing whatsoever. No concentration of your breathing, nothing, absolutely nothing. And that's the beauty of this meditation. So you have a choice either to sit or lie down. The requisition is stillness, silence and stillness. Something that you can maintain, some posture that you can maintain without any movement whatsoever. No rubbing, no scratching, no coughing, nothing. Drink water if you like. Do whatever you need to comfort yourself. This is what is called preparation. Prepare. Once you are ready, just if you are sitting, try to keep your back upright. If you're lying down, just relax, completely relax. Now, if you find sitting upright, keeping back upright, if that needs any effort, don't do it. Lie down or sit in a manner that gives you very comfortable posture. Idea is that you must not have any special effort in while sitting or lying down. All right. So we have next 30 minutes, and I will guide you to, or rather shake you up, bring you back till the time. Do not think about the time. Do not think of what you are, who you are. Just give up everything. Just sit or lie down. Relax. Close your eyes gently. We will start in 3 different phases. I call it 3 different levels of just relaxing. As you are settling down, to start with, just bring your attention to your breathing. Gently, lovingly, simply watch your breath. Now, with your eyes closed, try to see the image of your entire body. see your entire body lying on the mat or sitting on the mat. Watch yourself, watch your body lying on the mat. Watch your body sitting on the mat. Watch as if you are outside your body. Notice every single aspect of your resting on the mat. Starting from your toes to your heels, your soles, your calf muscles, ankles, knees, thighs, hips, back of your hips, the spinal cord, your abdomen area, stomach, chest, neck region, and your facial muscles. You're completely relaxed. Now the second phase is of let go. I like you to let go all that you possess. Starting with your name, position, age, status, relationship, all attachments. Try to let go. Just let go of every single possession that you have. As you let go, you understand, I am not this body. I am not this mind. I am not senses. I am not intellect. I am not emotions. I am not the personality. I am not the ignorance. I am not the ego. I am not finite. I am not mortal. Just let go of everything. You have nothing to desire. You have nothing to remember. You have nothing to plan. You have nothing to do. You have nothing to fear. You have nothing to be responsible for. You have nothing to expect. You have nothing to wish. You have nothing to realize. You have nothing to wait for. You have nothing to go else. You have nothing to be aware of. Now feel yourself so completely empty. Feel the emptiness. By dropping all that you are not. By dropping all that you want. by dropping all that you have desires. By dropping your ego, your memory, your sanskara, your attachment. The emptiness is your real being. You are infinite. You are eternal. You are omnipresent. You are omniscient. You are all-knowing. You are the light. You are the love. You are the joy. You are the absolute truth. You are that. You are in all manifestation, and all manifestation is in you. You are the supreme consciousness. Sat Chit Ananda is your nature. Sat, that is eternal, unchanging, the isness of the is. the absolute truth, the unchanging reality, the beginningless and the endless existence. Is who you are in essence. Everything that appears or perceived is a mirage, is only superimposed on the consciousness. It merely an appearance. This is the state known as the fourth state, called Turiya, the fourth stage. The stage of Turiya is the closest stage to the Samadhi. In the state of Turiya, only the awareness remain. Awareness of you being consciousness. Awareness of you being the Atma, the vital life force. Without struggling, without any judgment, without any reasoning, only through your own choice. Slowly, gently, be aware of your body. Be aware of your breath. Be aware of your surrounding. Feel the lightness of your body. Feel the relaxed mind. And gently wake your body up. Gently wake your body up by making a subtle movement. your choice of coming back does not change you being the consciousness and you knowing the body, mind, and intellect are acquired. With gentle smile on your face, prepare yourself to chant Om 3 times, followed by the prayer. Asato ma sagamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya loka samasta sukhino bhavantu loka samasta sukhino bhavantu samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, God, for giving us air to breathe. Thank you, God, for giving us water to drink. Thank you, God, for giving us sun for energy. Thank you, God, for giving us food to eat. Thank you, God, for giving us good health and happiness. Thank you, God, for giving us positivity. Thank you, God, for giving us all that we need. Thank you, God, for your love, your protection, your guidance, your blessings. Thank you, God, for the existence. Thank you for giving me a chance to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you, Acharya ji.
Thank you, Acharya
Thank
ji.
you.
Thank you, Acharya ji.
Thank you. So, some of you might have some questions, or if you wish to ask now or later, always stay clarified. And if possible, stay in the state as you are now. Start your day slowly. Do not rush. Stay